They call me master, much go better, faster. Yo! Hey man, what a glorious day. Master review. The one y'all been waiting for. I did see the DMs and tweets. I'm here. Hey man, listen, I just need to take some time, marinate. And I've seen the film 3 times. 3 times! Man, the level of joy and satisfaction that I feel right now, it is incredible. The last time I saw a Thalapathy film 3 times in this short span of time was forever ago. Alright? And we can have a long talk about it and everything, but it's been a while, and as a Thalapathy fan, right, as a film fan, I love the film. And as a Thalapathy fan, it's just it's different, the vibe, the energy is different right now. You know what I'm saying? The next decade is looking real special when it comes to the GOAT, the king, the legend, the greatest, Thalapathy Vijay. You already know. Alright, you know what? Listen, before I get deep down into this, there will be more videos on Master will be coming out, throughout the weeks and forth, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be doing a lot more discussion videos. Might do a live stream because I know y'all want to talk about it. It'd be kind of a fun video to do. There's more discussion videos that I may do with some other people. We'll see. Not sure. Nothing confirmed. But there'll be a lot more conversations about Master. So there might be certain things I may forget to cover here because I'm just kind of going raw. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever do anything scripted when it comes to making videos for you guys. I want it to be authentic. I'm just kind of, laying out my feelings and my emotions. You already know how we do. But yeah, so a lot more video will be dropping, reactions and everything. So look out for that, alright? Everything is coming. But as of now, Master, how was it? It was next level, pure, straight fire. Hey man, the GOAT has spoken. The king of the box office, the king of Hollywood. Thalapathy was amazing. He was beautiful. He was badass. He was complex. Next level performance. He's one of the greatest action stars of all time, and he's the best hands down action star in Tamil cinema. And the way he carries himself on the screen, it's amazing. This character JD, hey man, this dude is an emotion. You know what I'm saying? The swagger. Oh man. It was truly incredible to experience. And it is an absolute crime that this was the film. Out of everything else, this was the film I wasn't able to watch first day first show. Are you kidding me? You know how that's tragic. That's tragedy right there. But it is what it is. Situation and circumstances. For those who were able to go watch Master in theaters, hey man, I envy you. Lucky man, y'all are lucky, bro. For those who are able to do it. But man, listen, Master is beyond just a good film. It's a significant film for the industry moving forward, specifically for mainstream filmmaking when it comes to Tamil cinema. Y'all know how much of a gripe I have with a lot of these commercial movies and stuff like that, alright? Listen, I know Tamil cinema does produce quality film, in a smaller scale, indie movies and stuff like that, yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. Most people watch the mainstream film, and mainstream films can be of quality, you know what I'm saying? If really focused and really respected. And I think Master will inspire other filmmakers to take to reinvent themselves and be like, you know what, maybe we can push the boundaries. Maybe we can actually make a commercial film actually character driven. You know what I'm saying? With real depth, with real layers, but also make it appealing to a global, worldwide family audience. I think what Lokesh was able to pull off in Master is truly spectacular. Because, it's hard to look at Tamil films in a grand scale as any other films when it comes to a superstar caliber actor starring in it. Especially when they have a massive fan base of, ranges from 5 years old, you know what I'm saying, maybe even below that, to, 80 years old or 90 years old and so forth. And they always have to deliver a film that some way, shape or form will interest all of them and will be enjoyed by all of them. And it is a tall task. No other industry truly does that. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood, like an actor from Hollywood doesn't have to care about, necessarily the fans per se. You know, they can only focus on the story they want to do, the performance they want to deliver. You know, they could really go based on that. But when it comes to Thalapathy, somebody like him, he's the king. Listen, I'm not even talking about the movie. You know, I haven't even started speaking on the film itself. But man, Thalapathy is the absolute king and goat of Tamil cinema. Nobody's making the box office hits. The movie released with a 50% capacity and broke records. Nobody is gonna ever do that. That's it. That record is sealed. You know, records are always meant to be broken, but this one, nobody can, unless it's another pandemic. Hopefully not. But nobody was gonna break what Thalapathy was able to accomplish. You know, everybody was basically waiting for this movie to come out. The whole industry. No actor was willing to release their films first. You know what I'm saying? Thalapathy was the one. He was like, let's hold it, let's wait it, let's revive the entire theater chain. Man. You know what I'm saying? That move is truly remarkable, and the numbers it did is absolutely fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So which is fantastic for India. You know what I'm saying? Me in Canada, man, no theaters alive. It's been real tough. You know, movie theaters are my temple, my church, my mosque. You know what I'm saying? That's my place of religion. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I haven't gone for almost a year, it's painful. But anyways, way off topic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm just going all over the place. I'm excited, so don't blame me. Stick with me. Grab some popcorn or snack, 'cause it's gonna be a long video. You already know. Now let's coming back to Master. The characterization that was, you know, written by Lokesh for Thalapathy was fantastic, and Thalapathy did. You see, Thalapathy's range as an actor is. It's amazing. It's just look at every single frame he is in. You know what I'm saying? Every single shot. It's beautiful. Thalapathy is just aesthetically pleasing to look at. You know what I'm saying? The hairstyle, you know, the walk, the look, everything was amazing, man. And some of his best performances, especially when he you know reads that. I don't know if I should spoil or not, but hey, so there's gonna be some spoilers here. When he reads the letter, I'm not gonna go too deep into the spoilers. I'm gonna keep that for a couple of other videos in the future. But when he reads that letter, dude, man, every time I watch that moment, hey, tears are dropping, man. Somebody's cutting onions in my house. Every time that scene drops, somebody's cutting onions, because I don't know what's going on, because there's some teardrops for sure. That moment and that fight scene, oh my god. Okay, let's talk about fight scenes. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. There's too much happening. There's too much going on in here. The fight scenes. It's not so much about the choreography of the fights. It's more so about the way it was shot and edited. The way the camera moved, the 360s, you know, the impact of the punches, the right cuts. You know, I always remember, like, I would always talk about editing. I feel like Tamil cinema, a lot of these filmmakers, a lot of the editors don't edit their movies, the fight scenes right. It's always chopped out. It's always quick cuts. It's frustrating. Let it breathe. And Master, the way they did it, it was at the right time, at the right moment, so well balanced. And Lokesh knows how to move a camera, man. I'm telling you, this dude is special. He's the truth. His first film was dope, and then Kaidi was solid, and now he's coming with Master. And Master is a real test to his capability. Because let me put this in context. He narrated 20 minutes of the film to Thalapathy, right? You know, based on the character and everything, and Thalapathy was impressed and he was down to do it. Lokesh wrote the screenplay for this film in 2 months. And the third month, he went shooting. That's a remarkable feat, because the way the movie was executed, because the movie did stick the landing. But also, I would say one of the flaws, because I feel like if he had more time to marinate with the script, I think the movie could have been even better. Because Master is not perfect. It's not perfect. It's a real good film. It's a great film. I love it. But it's not perfect. It has some pacing issues, some character issues. And a lot of the issues feels fairly simple given the time. You know, the movie's 3 hours long. But if you sit back and think about it, some of the things that wasn't necessarily great, it's an actual easy fix, to be honest with you. For example, the character played by Malavika and the character played by Andrea, they could have been one simple character. He could have just write that in it. Maybe it's somebody he met 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? During the start of the film, it's been 6 months. This teacher's been visiting that school, and you know she's been seeing how JD basically kind of runs the school, how much the student loves him, and that may inspire the character to do whatever the character does. But it could have been played by the same character, because they're they're not necessarily that significantly different in terms of the impact they kind of have on the film. Andrea doesn't have that much of an impact, but you understand why she's there. If you have a question about the movie and the narrative, there's always the answer there, which is really great in that sense. Where if you're like, why Malavika's there, you can really answer why she's there. If you ask why Andrea's there, you can really answer why she's there. But the reasons aren't as strong. But if they were together, I think that would have been an actual solid, powerful character. But now both of them just feels really half-assed, you know what I'm saying? And so that was an issue. Pacing. Instead of having Santanu and the election aspect, the first guy we meet, the first student, who's kind of the badass student of the school, who does a lot of these creates issues, troublemaker, but he respects and loves JD, right? He should have just been that main specific student that kind of travels across that whole portion, the school portion, the first college portion of the story. And then something goes down, and then he has to leave the college, and then we move on to the actual story that is significant to the overall film. So and then that would have cut unnecessary characters, runtime, and that's gone. Like some easy fix. I could go much more in depth with it, but these things are just like not that bad to ruin a film. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that it's bad. It just felt unnecessary. He just drags the film for no reason and doesn't have a actual payoff. Like it's not worth having so many of these characters. It just didn't make sense why. It's not necessary. And then even a shot in the second half with Santanu and that girl, and like a romantic kind of an angle. Why that shot was even there? It's unnecessary. Like, why even think that far? Try to build all that. It's not necessary. So, I just feel like the movie has to just get like trimmed. Have a nice little haircut. That's how it feels like some of the issues with the film. And if you have a nice little trim, remove some unnecessary elements, and the film is there because the main point of the film being Thalapathy Vijay, the king, the legend, the greatest, Thalapathy versus Vijay Thalapathy. That aspect done beautifully, excellently. It was perfect. It was well written. It was well balanced. It was absolutely badass, and the payoff was impactful. Loved the actual story point, and the actual direction of the film was great. Some of the outside noises could have been trimmed down, but again, though, the reason why it didn't bother me as much, especially my second viewing, the first viewing, yes, I felt the pacing was too long. Okay, this could have been better. But I loved the film the second time even more. And that never happens for a commercial film in Tamil cinema, I'm telling you. I only watched Big Hill once. People sometimes ask me, bro, how many times do you watch Big Hill? So I don't want to answer because then I have to give a big-ass explanation why I only watched it once. Because my first show experience of a Thalapathy film like Big Hill, it's fantastic because, watching Thalapathy's performance, he's always great in his films, and I just love watching him, and I'm enjoying that whole experience, that whole cinematic experience. But as a film, I don't think Big Hill is necessarily a good movie. It has a lot of issues with the film. I love certain elements within the film that I think are great, like the whole Rayappan story arc, that character, interaction between the father and son, all that stuff was really impactful, and I absolutely loved it. But that's not the whole movie. There's a couple more hours over on top of all that, you know what I'm saying, which I wasn't a fan of necessarily. But I still had a great experience watching that film. But if I watched it again, I sat home and watched the video from start to finish, my first show experience will be soured. So when there's a movie of Thalapathy that I enjoyed while watching it for the first time, acknowledging that there's certain elements I didn't like, I don't go back and revisit it because it will just tarnish my first show experience, and I don't feel the need to watch the whole film. I just go back and revisit the sequence. Like I would go back and watch the whole Rayappan story because I want to see Thalapathy in that performance, in that role, in that story arc. I watch it. Go watch Vetrimaran, and Merciless. I think overall it's still a very good film, so I don't mind. But there's certain elements in even Merciless, like the whole auto driver story feels like a short story that's like, okay, for the first time it was impactful, but the second time you kind of want to skip it. Not that you try to be harsh, but it ruins the flow of the film. So there's a lot of those kind of things that happens when you watch a commercial film that it's hard to get through the second, or even, I barely even watched the second time, so there's no third. But Master, the second time it was better. The third time it was just the flaw, like the flaws were fine, because at this point I accepted that this is the movie, but the flaws weren't dumb per se. It was more so like, oh, it was unnecessary. You could have dealt better, could have written better, or made it or executed it in a much more impactful way. But nothing felt like, why is it there? Because I know why it's there. Lokesh always does a thing in this film and his writing that he kind of gives, even if it's a simple answer, maybe not even a strong answer, but there's always an answer why it's there. You can kind of say, okay, this is where this goes. You can really see that there was an idea, there was a thought throughout it all. But I feel like it was a lot of thoughts, too much of thoughts, and some thoughts could have been trimmed down, and that's how I feel about the flaws. In terms of the strength, it's immense. The strength, the impact this film will have in the industry. I feel like when the film came out, people were just like, they were kind of shocked with the experience they felt, because it was different, it was refreshing. It wasn't over the top, it was grounded, it was layered. You can go back and revisit the film multiple times and get something out of it, even more and far beyond. So having all that, now people are starting to realize the real impact the film is having narratively and for the mainstream commercial films in Tamil cinema. This should be the future. Like, we always see the trends in Tamil cinema when there's a social message film like Kutty drops and it's a massive hit, and then for the next decade, all films are social message films. When there's going to be like a romantic time, all films are romantic times, romantic films, In 2005, when there was Sivagasi in Tirupati, you got P.R. Sahari making those kind of films, and that was for like a whole, half a decade. Those kind of films. And then horror comedy, that was like for a half a decade. So there's always a trend they follow, which is irritating when they had like this murder mystery thrillers. Every movie was basically a murder mystery and thriller. It was like, it looked the same, was shot the same, the camera moved the same. I'm like, god damn, it's the same movie again and again. This is a trend I can get behind, because this is actual real filmmaking. There's an actual story, there's an actual writing, there's an actual craftsmanship behind this film. And if this is the trend, that's great, because I want to see more filmmaking in Tamil cinema, not just 5 songs, 5 fights, comedy, love, mother, daughter, father, whatever sentiments, and then then there's like a small story there, just to kind of make it all connect, but none of it actually makes sense. Nothing is cohesive. If this is a trend where there's an actual narrative that the film follows, there's an actual character with depth and layers, and there's two sides of the coin, more of that, please. More of that. Listen, Vikram Vedha was like that too, but it's a mainstream film, but you need somebody like Thalapathy Vijay, the king of Hollywood, to make a film like this, so it will awaken all the other mainstream filmmakers to step their game up. Be like, you know what? Alright, I can't be doing no more BS kind of movies. And it might also hopefully inspire producers to stop enforcing unnecessary elements, because most of the time in Tamil cinema, producers wants to make money. They don't want to make great films. They want to make money. So they want to make money based on, what was the last film that was a hit? Oh, 5 songs, five fights, and a couple of comedy scenes, whatever. Okay, good. We're gonna make the same kind of movie. Even if your story is different, add those elements in, because the fans likes that. That was the last one that was a big hit. Hopefully, Master's reception and box office hit will make producers be like, you know what? Let's try something. You director, you experiment with your own real, true vision. I at least hope so. So I'm basically kind of talking about the impact the film has and could have, and have some high hopes for the next decade for Tamil cinema, also for Thalapathy, picking this. And I think one of the reasons he actually chose Master would probably be because of Atli and the story that he was given with Vitrimar and Rayapan, and the reception, like us fans, how we loved and admired his performance as those two characters. Thalapathy probably felt like, you know what, maybe it's time for me to make a whole film in that kind of a level, character focused. And with this success, I think Thalapathy is like certified. And I feel like even with the film with Nelson is going to be doing, I think it's going to be special. It's going to be a gangster film, but it's going to be a dope, different flavor that we've never seen from Thalapathy before, because Nelson is not a typical director either. Kolama Kokila was the only solo Nandara film that I actually loved, and it was a great film. And that was one of those films where I was like, it was so good, is he going to stick the landing? Because when most of the times, many movies don't know how to stick a landing, and Nelson knew how to do it. And Doctor, I'm looking forward to seeing what he has done with that, and him working with Thalapathy, and he's a massive Thalapathy fan. And man, if you go watch the teaser for Vaathi, and that aesthetic and that vibe and feel is what I get from Thalapathy65. It's going to be completely different film, but in terms of he has that gangster aesthetic that was kind of showcased back then in a teaser. If you haven't seen that Vaathi teaser, definitely go check it out because it is hype. And in the Thalapathy65, you can kind of feel that vibe and energy. So I got high faith in Nelson. Coming back to Master, like I said, I'm going all over the place. How long this video been? Oh my goodness, over 20 minutes. God damn, alright. The moment when the character JD, is alcoholic, right? Alcohol becomes a problem to the point where something really major happens, right? The moment where this cop goes to wake him up, that moment, I've never felt that way in any Thalapathy films, at least not in the last decade. All right, like when he's waking him up and Thalapathy's like, "Hey man, hey, okay, I'll wake up, man. Leave me alone. Hey, stop shaking me, bro. I'm gonna wake up." I'm like, God damn, Thalapathy, you gotta get up, man. You gotta get up. Some shit went down. You gotta get up. That feeling of like for the first time you kind of feel a certain way. I'm like, oh, man, like a disappointing feeling. It's like it's amazing that I was able to feel that. It was super fun to experience it because the attachment we have towards Thalapathy is crazy. It's unbelievable. Like I love that one dialogue he says when the kids are kidnapped and he comes back to the school jail, and then he's confronting those dudes. And then at the end of that lesson and conversation, he says, what did Bhavani said? He's gonna kill everybody that loves me. There's millions of people loves me out there. He says, Mudija toda solra papam. That dialogue, it had an insane pull. It was like, yeah, Thalapathy, let's go. I'm ready. Let's get it. It was like that's how you feel, but the genius behind that dialogue when it comes to Lokesh is that when Thalapathy does those fan service moments per se, Lokesh wrote it and directed in a manner where that dialogue, although it may be a fan service, it does also work within the context of the narrative. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense because in the school a lot of these students loves him and cares for him. Right? So I just love that whatever Thalapathy says that is kind of feels more like towards us, like a fan service moment, there's always a significant element within the narrative that in that context it makes sense why it would be there. But also it does give a sense of joy for us beyond it being a film and a character, which is crazy. That thin fine balance Lokesh was able to accomplish was unbelievable. Anirudh's BGM, this dude was another MVP of the film. He delivered like 50 goddamn theme music, and all of them were next level pure straight fire. Dude killed it. Dude was on fire. After Kutty, this is the best score he's given. Like every single score was, it was amazing, man. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see what he's gonna be doing with Thalapathy65. I wanted to mention this before I get to my score. I'm going to give you my score. I'm gonna let you guys go. I promise. And for those who are still watching me past 25 minutes, I appreciate you. Because I know it's a long video. But hey, I've been holding all this. I have been posting videos for a while because I wanted to wait till I watch Master because I couldn't really do anything else until that point. Right? So, hope you all understand. I was never a fan of directors coming out and saying, oh, this is a 50% Thalapathy film, like, or they just basically saying this is a 50% that actor's film and 50% my film, right? Lokesh was saying this is a 50% Thalapathy film and 50% my film, like how Karthik Subraj was saying it's a 50% Rajinikanth's film and a 50% my film. I never liked that. You know why? Because those are always bad movies. Pete was a bad movie because of that ideology. Kala was a bad movie because of that ideology. Kabali was a great film because it was a 100% Par Ranjit's film, but the audience did not really buy into it. So I was never cool or understanding of that concept because the movies are always going to feel half-assed and not good. It's going to end up being bad. It's going to be super underwhelming. And that was my only concern with Master, because the fact that Lokesh kept emphasizing on it so much, I was like, oh my god, this dude is taking that ideology super seriously. Can he make it work? And dude delivered. He made it work. God damn, he made it work. That doesn't mean that I'm convinced that everybody can do it. Lokesh is special. This dude is real special. I don't believe everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? I truly do not. Like, I rather a director comes and just go, okay, I'm gonna make a commercial film. It's gonna be a full-on commercial film. Or am I gonna make a specific film? Or I'm gonna make my film, my true vision. When you try to make a true vision plus a commercial film, it's never gonna be good. It's never gonna be good. It's never gonna live up to the potential. At least if you make a honest commercial film like Thalapathy, it's gonna be a great commercial film, right? But again, Lokesh did break that rule, because I thought it was impossible for anybody to come in and do a 50-50 thing. But Lokesh did prove that he can make it work. But I do believe, because of 50-50, maybe he was blindsided by some outside things that I mentioned early in the video. But I feel like this will push the next time they will work, because I'm pretty sure they will work another time. And if they do, maybe this time Lokesh might be like, you know what, 75% me, 25% Thalapathy. And maybe eventually we may even get a movie, the third one, hopefully, that is 100% only Lokesh. Because listen, an actor should come into the director's vision. You know what I'm saying? The second the director's gotta cater to an actor, no matter who that is, it's ruining the potential of that story. But again, I'm gonna say it, Lokesh made that work. But I don't know if it's a one-hit wonder, because I don't want some other director come in and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do a 50% my vision and 50% Thalapathy film. No, usually that doesn't work. It doesn't work. The movies will never be as good as it possibly can be. If Atlee came out and did Bigil and it was a whole-on Ryapan and a father-son relationship and that story alone, and that was the entire film, it would have been one of the greatest films from Tamil cinema, because Atlee has that in him. But no, he made a 50%, maybe 25% his film and 75% Thalapathy film. So the 25% might be, you know, the Ryapan thing, that's truly what he wants to do, hopefully one day. But he has to do the other things that, you know, the whole sentimental, the love story, all the BS things that he had to kind of cover it with. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like people are done with that. I think people are ready to have a complete narrative film. But I don't know. Listen, I don't know how far people are ready, because somebody like my sister, I would say she loved Master, but I know she loved Bigil more, because she told me she loved the emotional aspect, the comedy, the whole. She liked it. She liked the whole, you know, massive, you know, a lot of things were going on in Bigil, the emotional aspect and everything, the empowerment that she felt or whatever. And I'm like, so sometimes, you know, I can live in my own bubble. Maybe us, we want a specific film, give us a complete Ryapan movie, right? But maybe people like my sister and the general audience, the family audience might be like, yeah, but that might be a little bit too much of a sour of an experience. They want that little bit lighthearted aspect to it. And Master was such a unique film because Lokesh still made this film as dark as it was, as complex as it was, and as messed up it can be at some point. He still made it fun to watch. This dude Lokesh is special, man. Because you gotta understand, like, the deaths, you know, the idea behind it, Thalapathy's character, and everything, and, you know, like, Thalapathy is the alcoholic one and not Vijay Sethupathi and all that kind of stuff, like having those kind of dynamics, those kind of elements. Lokesh even said in an interview where he wanted to go even further with the whole alcoholic aspect of that JD character, you know what I'm saying? And he had to tone it down because even he felt uncomfortable with certain scenes, and he took it. Thalapathy was okay with it apparently, but Lokesh felt like, no, I might be I'm maybe pushing too far. You know, I don't know how audience are going to take certain elements that what could being alcoholic would look like. You know, so this is great. You know, I feel like I'm going through a lot of thoughts here and feelings here, because yeah, it's a great film. I love the movie, but I'm also excited about the future and what this movie could mean to the industry and for the future of mainstream commercial film. Or, you know, our boy Siva's gonna come out with Anata, and that's gonna be a big hit amongst the fans, and then we are back to square one. I'm just starting to shake off that thought. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, with all that being said, guys, my rating for Master, I almost wasn't gonna give a rating because I don't want people to focus too much on the rating that I'm about to give, but I'm still gonna do it. It is my favorite movie of the year so far, and it is absolutely my favorite film of Thalapathy. Is it his best film? Not sure. Not sure. Maybe I've had to watch it one more time. Because I do have my favorite film, which is Nanban. You know, I know it's a remake, but that doesn't matter. You know, Departed was a remake. It doesn't matter. Nanban is a great film. Like, the more I watch it, the more I love it. And I think, as a film, I think it's a better film, right? But Master is my favorite Thalapathy film. So I think the best Thalapathy film would be probably Nanban, and my favorite Thalapathy film would be easily Master. So, hey, who knows? If I watch Master a couple more times, it may beat out Nanban for me. But if you haven't seen Nanban in a while, go check that film out, because that's gonna be a film that's gonna age beautifully, because it's just a great story. It's well made. Shankar did a wonderful job remaking that film. But anyways, off topic. But yes, Master, love the film, a great film. With that said, it's a long video. It's a long review. I had a lot of thoughts. You know, I was going kind of all over the place, but thank you for sticking with me. For those who stayed with me till this point, I appreciate you. If you guys enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also leave your thoughts, man. What y'all feel, man? How y'all feel? How many times have you seen it? Do you agree with some of my points? Do you disagree? Is there anything else that I mentioned that you want to hear my thoughts on? Leave whatever you feel in the comments down below, because I'll be covering Master a lot more moving forward as well. Live stream discussions, a lot more videos will be coming out, because we'll be talking about Master as long as we possibly can. And again, thank you so much for watching, and see you guys on my next one. Salute.